Hi Claire, how you going?
Yeah, well, thanks, Michael.
Nice to see you again.
Yeah, you too.
Thanks for coming back. Tell me, how's it all going?
But yeah, it's okay. I've
Yeah,
had it. I guess it's. I just feel like it's a bit of a juggle at the moment,
yeah,
working part time and the house and Ethan. Just a bit of a juggle.
it is. That's the word, isn't it? Juggle. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's challenging.
yeah,
Yeah. Um, Last time we spoke, uh, we talked a little bit about a new issue. I don't know if you remember, but we talked about the fact that you felt like you were snapping at Justin a little bit.
yeah, yeah,
Particularly when he's trying to help you with Ethan,
yeah,
and bath times and that
yeah.
sort of thing. That you identified that as something that you'd like to talk about this time. Is that still something
Yeah.
that you'd like to do, or would you like
Yeah.
to talk about a different issue?
No,
Yeah,
absolutely.
happy to
Yeah,
do that.
yeah,
Okay. Well, can you just tell me a little bit more about what's going on there? Is it's still happening?
yeah. I guess it's sort of. I suppose it's sort of happening. Like I feel like I'm snapping at Justin,
Yeah, yeah.
and not I feel like I am snapping at Justin, and I suppose I can sort of pinpoint it that it's kind of occurring when I'm had long days at work.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Is he noticing that you?
Oh yeah,
And how's it leaving you feeling?
I feel awful.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Look, there's something that we call a behavioural change sort of a program, if you like. I'd like to maybe just tell you a little bit about it. We've certainly found it useful in counselling. We've had some success with it. One technique being that we, I guess, we try and explore some of the feelings and the emotions, even the bodily sensations that you might be going through at this time, to try and understand a little bit about what's going on inside you. And then we find that by understanding that, we have some success in then modifying behaviour and then hopefully not snapping at him. Does that sound like something that you'd have some interest in exploring?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
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 Okay, well let's give it a little bit of a go. So tell me a little bit about the sort of, you mentioned that you feel awful when it happens. What sort of feelings are you going through on these occasions when you're snapping at him? Tell me everything about it, really. Yeah.
So I suppose it's kind of occurring when I feel like I'm trying to. Ethan's having a tantrum. I suppose that's when it's
Okay.
actually happening for more consistently.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm trying to kind of calm him down, and then it feels a bit like Justin's sort of stepping in and taking over. So I
Tell me a bit about that.
feel like
What's he doing?
well, he's trying to, I guess, stop the situation or calm the situation down, or he's trying to attend to Ethan.
Yes. Okay.
And I guess I feel like he's just sort of taking over, and that makes me feel cross. And, then I kind of lose my temper and I snap at Justin.
Right. Yeah. Is there a particular place that this is happening, a time of day?
Yeah, it's I suppose which I've now learned, the witching hour of toddlers,
Yeah.
kind of, at bath time or getting ready for bed, or, like a long day. He's been in daycare, I've been at work all day. You hurry home, trying to get everything done, and then you've got to calm him down before he goes to bed.
Okay, that's Ethan, obviously.
Ethan,
Yeah.
not
So
Justin.
so you're calming Ethan down, or you're trying to calm Ethan down, and then tell me a little bit about what Justin's doing or saying.
Well, Justin's just really trying to sort of just step in and assist, and I suppose
What's he saying?
he's just sort of saying, I'll help, can I, let me do it.
Yeah.
I can do this,
Alright.
I've got this.
And how's that leaving you feel?
Well, I'm kind of going, but I've got it. And then I feel like he's criticising me because I haven't got it the way he thinks I should have it. So everyone's kind of going, I've got this, and then
Okay.
I'm
yes.
snapping, and
Yeah.
then I'm raising my voice, he would probably say I'm yelling. I probably am yelling. I'm not even aware, that I'm raising my voice. But then when I am aware, I feel awful.
So this is afterwards
Yeah.
you feel awful?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me, why do you feel awful?
Because I know ultimately he's just trying to help. And
Okay.
I'm taking it, I guess, as a criticism, I suppose.
Yeah. Okay. So when you're taking this as this criticism, are you aware of anything happening, like your body, the changes, anything like that? Can you feel any sensations?
So are you talking about like if my heart's beating fast? Is that the type of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think, like, I can see him, go and soothe Ethan or try and calm Ethan down. And while he's doing that, my heart rate feels like it's escalating. I feel like I'm just full of anxiety. Sometimes I even get hot, sweaty palms. And then I fly off the handle. And yeah. And
What
then
do you say?
I've got this. I can do this.
Okay, that's the flying off the handle.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
in probably stronger words than that.
Okay.
And I'm getting cross and I'm raising my voice
Yeah.
and I'm directing it directly at Justin.
Can I ask, is Justin aware of if Justin were here, would he be aware of the situation?
Yes.
Yeah, so he knows he's been admonished or whatever.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Okay, all right. And so the changes that are happening in you can feel your heart rate going up. Then, bang, you'll snap at it.
I'll snap. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And you mentioned, is this happening every day? Is it?
No, I think
how often is it happening?
it's probably happening the days that I'm working. So
Okay.
you
Yeah.
know,
It's 3 days a week.
3 days a week. So yeah, it's not happening every day, but it is happening consistently.
Yeah.
I feel like it's consistently on the days I'm working.
Okay. So tell me what's going on for you, sort of beforehand.
So I guess I'm just, busy. I'm loving the job. I'm happy that I've decided to go back to it. But, it's been a stressful day. Sometimes at work, full on, it never stops. Race to get home to get the daycare pick-up collection, get through the door, start dinner, and then, the normal stuff of starting dinner, getting Ethan's bag unpacked, just the household stuff. And then...
How are your emotions at this stage?
I guess I'm fine when I'm just doing it on my own, but I am getting stressed and I am getting overwhelmed, and I think that's causing me to kind of snap at Justin.
Okay. The snapping, so that might be happening 3 times a week, maybe?
Yeah, and I think because Ethan's tantrums are coinciding, like they're getting worse, and I think that's because he's tired from daycare and
It's a
kinder.
day in daycare for him as well,
Yeah,
of course.
so his tantrums are getting worse since I've been going back to work. But I think it's just because they're long days for him as well.
Yeah, right, okay. It's happening the 3 times a week. How long are these snappings that Justin taking?
Well, they feel like they're going for hours, but really they're just a few minutes. But I feel awful afterwards.
Yeah, right, okay. Does he say anything about it?
No, not really.
So can I just see if I've got this roughly right then? You're coming home from a day in the office, you've enjoyed it, but you are feeling stressed, you're feeling a bit overwhelmed, potentially easier to do things on your own, but when Justin's there, there's a little bit of kind of demarcation, sort of dispute over who's doing what, sort of who's soothing Ethan, who's not soothing Ethan. It's already a stressful day, you're tired, and then it sounds like this is happening, and you're reacting at Justin's words with a bit of snappiness, to use your own words, precipitated obviously by an Ethan tantrum. there's obviously a longer string of emotions that you're feeling from your day at work beforehand. Am I roughly right?
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
afterwards, you're feeling immediately remorseful.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm, I feel awful about it, but I don't know how to change my behaviour, and that's.
Well, that leads me to my next question
Yeah.
for you. What's the one thing you really would change in an ideal world?
I just want to stop snapping and,
Yeah.
raising my voice and
Okay.
stop my behaviour before it escalates.
What do you think you can do differently?
I probably need to stop and take a step back when I feel things are about to happen.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
I don't know how to do that though, because I think in the heat of the moment.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things in this program for change that we're looking at. One of the things we can do is there's actually a lot of research around the fact that by changing your own behaviours around those triggers, you can, and indeed, you can change your feelings and ultimately your own response to Justin. So the idea being, and you've sort of rightly identified already, the idea of stepping away. But yeah, that's one option that we could do, is this idea that maybe when you're feeling this coming on, you can tell your palms are getting sweaty, your heart rate's going up. You actually just step away from the scenario, and maybe even do some relaxation techniques. Maybe, I don't know, is it feasible that you could, if you're both in, it sounds like it's bath time, if you're both in the bathroom, for example, with Ethan, and he's cracking it, is it possible for you to just step away for a moment? You can sense that Justin's about to do something that triggers you a little bit more. Is it possible that you step away and maybe just take a couple of deep breaths, for example, just to control your anxiety? Is that a realistic thing?
Yes, if I train myself to do it, I guess.
Yeah. Do you think? I mean, there's certainly been research to suggest that those kind of interventions can have great effect. Do you think it's something that you could explore?
Yeah, I think so. I want to do something, so yeah.
Great. Do you think it sounds like the sort of thing that could help?
Yes.
Okay, good. Why don't we give it a go?
Yep.
One of the things that we also would want to do here is actually, you don't want to just rely on your anecdotal feelings of whether or not it's working, but actually maybe record and monitor the progress that you're making. Have you got any suggestions on how you might be able to do that?
Well, I'm sure I could find an app to do something like that, but in notes or something, but probably like journal. I'm quite good at sort of life admin, so writing things down. So
Okay, what would you write down?
what would I write down? Good question. I guess I'd write down the time and day it's happening, and what I'm reacting to, and how I'm reacting, like what I'm feeling, I guess. I don't know, maybe if my heart's racing, or am I sweaty, or and then if I don't react and I stop, note that down when I did the right thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Is that what you're sort of after?
I'm interested to know what your thoughts were, but yeah, I mean, I think we're on the same, really similar page here. Yeah. I think maybe something where any instance of, if you can record any instance where potentially this convergence of circumstances is leading to you having certain feelings, and you've got two options. You either stay and react potentially as you have in the past, or try this new approach of stepping away and breathing. Each time you're faced with that choice, if you record what choice you made, and indeed what the effect was, like whether you avoided snapping or whether you didn't, that might be a good starting point for us. Do you think?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I think that works. Okay. Yeah. Great. Just, look, I think we're running out of time today. I'd love a little bit of feedback from you, just in terms of this process that we've been through. This idea, firstly, of breaking down what's happening for you in terms of the circumstances that are leading to the snappiness. We've talked extensively about the snappiness itself, and then the idea of the consequences after the snappiness. Does this model of sort of looking at it, we call it an ABC model, but does that help you at all? Break down your thinking about what's going on?
Yeah, I think potentially it could have some longer term benefits for me.
Yeah, okay. Tell me about that.
Well, I think if I monitor it, I'm going to sort of see if there's a pattern, if I feel like it's just on the days I work, but this will obviously give me the results to see that that's correct.
Yeah.
And maybe it'll make me a bit more accountable, that I can see, on Tuesdays I'm particularly tired or something, or like,
Okay.
and maybe it will make me stop and stop my actions before I snap.
Sure, yeah. So are you comfortable with the goal that we've set, the idea
Yeah, I think so,
reduce
yeah.
snappiness?
Yeah.
This method of doing it, the idea of, how do you feel about that, the idea of maybe you trying to build an awareness of some internal symptoms and then stepping away?
Yeah, I think that will be good for me.
Is it realistic?
Yes. I want to change it, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, okay. Good, great. And what about finally just the idea of keeping records? You mentioned earlier about making you a bit accountable.
Yeah, I think, well, that will be good as a reflection piece.
Yeah, excellent. Okay, well, it sounds like we've got a bit of buy-in on this.
Yeah.
Why don't we give it a go for a week and see how you go?
Yeah.
Have you got anything else in particular that you'd like to talk about next week? Or how would you like?
No, I'd probably just like to reflect back on the week and have a look at if there is a pattern, or if I've been able to do it.
Yeah.
Stop.
Sounds like we've got a bit of homework for this week to do.
Yes.
Good luck with that. I hope it works out really well for you.
Okay.
And I look forward to hearing about it.
Thanks, Michael, for your
Nice
time.
to see you again.
See you
Thanks.
next week.
Bye. Okay, what have I got written in my counselling notes? I've obviously got client name, Claire Bowman, session 4, 25th of the 4th, 2024. Under goals, I sort of said our goal was to agree upon and implement a strategy of behavioural change. We've agreed on some actions, and we've also agreed on how to measure it moving forward. The topics discussed, I've crammed a fair bit in here, but basically the progress since last session, and that the outcome there is that unfortunately she's still snapping at Justin. We talked a bit about what snapping means and what its precursors are, the ABC model, the antecedents. So snapping means speaking rudely. It only lasts for a couple of minutes, but still afterwards her feelings are remorseful, so it's something she wants to change. Another antecedent, or something preceding it, is certainly the work stress that Claire's experiencing now in her juggling roles of work and parenting. The big one though, and I've got it in capital letters, is that she's feeling criticised. And I think that's something that we'll probably need to work on down the track. So Ethan's tantrums are obviously another triggering factor here. The physical, we discussed the physical sensations that Claire's experiencing, and that's noteworthy. I think that helps her cue her into when she needs to follow the change that we've embarked upon. It's happening 3 times a week. Seems like there's a heavy correlation with Claire's work days, and we agreed on a behavioural change program and monitoring of it, specifically the idea that when Claire's experiencing those sensations in her body, she actually walk away from the scenario, take a few deep breaths, and then reintroduce her to the scenario, hopefully feeling a bit happy that she's avoided snapping at Justin. The interventions and strategies, I've got written that we implement the agreed behavioural change program to identify the precursors, the feelings and the physical sensations, and to walk away and breathe. And we've also agreed to keep a record on what's happening, on all the occasions on which she's experiencing that sort of heightened anxiety in the home, and whether she's able to walk away from that, grab some breaths, or whether she in fact snaps at Justin. I also said next session would just review the progress of the program. So that's what's written on my notes. What worked well? I think I collaborated quite well with Claire to sort of unpack the steps and the emotions that she's going through, the physical sensations to really work through it step by step. What worked maybe not so well, I would suggest that maybe the review was a bit clunky. I still struggle. I don't know, Claire's buy-in didn't really convince me about it. It felt like she was just going, yes, yes, yes. And I probably need to practice that a bit more to make it less clunky, that review, that idea that you were reviewing. I suppose it's a short time frame, which makes it even worse, but it feels a bit, sort of manufactured. Claire is, and another point that I've got here is that Claire is clearly feeling threatened by her old role being shared, and she's quite sensitive to the perceived criticisms of Justin. She's interpreting what may well be Justin's good intentions as a veiled criticism. So in sort of developmental, in terms of the developmental theories, I think one way that would probably help me as a counsellor thinking about this is Erickson's stages, the intimacy versus isolation stage, that sort of 20s and 30s stage. She seems to be really grappling with some of those issues there. The idea that I suppose the intricacies of forming a shared identity with Justin, specifically around parenting, when previously she'd been performing that role on her own, and now that her role, that's her territory, is kind of shared. It's a bit like a job share role now that someone else is coming in, and she might be a bit resistant to some of those new ideas. So I'd probably use that as the model to work with her to see that potentially that it's okay for Justin to have some input here, and that it's not in fact a criticism. Anyway, that's where I'm at. I've probably waffled. Sorry. Thanks. Bye.